Hi friends, welcome to Aisha's DIY. Today we will do a small earring, wire wrap earrings actually, with bargain bead box subscription. So I still have these roundel beads and these pebble beads, like nugget kind of a beads available. So I thought, why not make a small necklace or earrings? But I finished a necklace and I wanted to do a pendant. I did this with wire, and I wanted to use this as a pendant. I haven't decided how I will add beads to this, but I like this. So I like this earring, which is actually simple, I guess, than what I want to do. So this is what it is. It's a very, I mean, I don't know if you guys like these earrings or not. I thought it is a pretty a unique earring that I wanted to make. So here I have I made this ear wire myself. So this is the earring, as you guys can see. I used 18 gauge and 20 gauge anti-copper wire. This is from Parawire. This is a 20 gauge that I used for the ear wire and for this stuff with the bead part. And for the frame I used some 18 gauge copper anti-copper wire, about say this length, and then some 26 gauge anti-copper wire. So you can also use 24 gauge, I would say, and one nugget bead and two of the roundel. So this wire, 18 gauge wire, is about say 3.5 inches to be exact. So I have a 3.5 inch wire piece here. So I take my round nose pliers, about say at the end. I know it's not flush cut, but we will do it eventually. So just start making a loop, not even make a loop, just start making a loop. Okay, once you start that loop, then snip off just a bit to flush cut the end, and then you will get this. So I want to make this into, like, see how I am rolling it. I want to make a swirl on both ends. So I'm just going to do the same this side as well. Start making a loop. Okay, once I start making a loop, I just snip off a little bit. Okay, and then see how I'm making it. That's what I want to make. So I want to make a swirl. For that I'm starting on both sides, bending the wire. 18 gauge wire is a little bit hard to work with, but it's not that bad. So here we go. So nice and even on both sides if you can, but don't rush this process. Take it really slowly so that you can get a nice circle right here. I mean, this one is perfect. This one is very rounded, as you guys can see. But if you want to take it out, you can take it out a bit and hold this with your needle nose or tweezer nose pliers and just make a swirl. So we have to make a swirl. That's what we are going to do. So you can just make it like this. Okay, and start making it both ways. This is a colored wire. This is a shiny wire, right? So that means it's colored. But if it is not colored, then it is pretty simple. You can actually hold it however you want. You can tarnish it, and not tarnish it, I mean, you can use liver of sulfur and then make it antique if it is bare copper wire, but if it is not, then you will have to be careful using your pliers with it, because it will leave, it will scratch the coating right there. Okay, it's about say right, I would say. I mean, I'm just eyeballing it, but I wanted to make sure. I mean, yeah, it's actually more. Let's see. It's okay. So now what I would do is take my round nose pliers, keep it about say in the middle or so, and the middle of these two swirls right here. Okay, I mean, I don't know if you guys can see it very clearly, but just keep it right there and just fold it around the round nose pliers just like that. Okay, so we have a bigger loop right here. Okay, so what I want to do is take my step looping pliers just like that, and then take it, and probably I should have done it here. Yeah, that's much better, right? So that kind of matches our other earring. So making a earring, that's the thing. You need to be really, really careful. Just taking the swirl out a little bit and then keeping it in this, and then making that's become big, so I'm gonna make it a little bit small. Okay, that's about say right. See, this side is shorter and this side is longer. You can see that, right? So you can adjust it easily. So put it back in the mandrel and just take that out and take this in. That way, now it's about the same size. You can also crisscross and then just take it out just like that. Now it's about say the same, but still, if you're not convinced, go ahead and structure it more and squeeze it. Okay, so if you're happy with the size, then you can go ahead and do the rest. I'm just making sure I'm tweaking it with my pliers so that I can get a similar shape of the other one. Now I think I'm good. Now what I'm gonna do here is, let me just take these bits, pieces and stuff and put it away. As I said, I have here about say a feet of 26 gauge wire. You don't need that much, but I do like it to have it that way. So if you guys can see, there is, I can go closer, but it's not focusing. So I start here and I end this side. So I'm gonna do the same over here as well. So one side you will see a little bit of a wrap, but that's okay. So just leave a short tail. Okay, have the tail here. Take your needle nose or tweezer nose pliers, take the tail through the wire inside. Okay, bring it all the way, not all the way, but just considerable length, and then you need your pliers to go through this, couple of wraps to anchor it so that we can weave the wire. Two or three wraps, that's more than enough. I have anchored it, so now I can weave this. So take this wire, go around this side, go on top, come back. So we are weaving, so go through this, make sure it's nice and tight. Okay, and then go, it's like a figure 8 pattern. Go around this, go through that, go around that, come back. So it's a figure 8 pattern that we are going to do, and making sure all these wires are together. And see this, I'm wrapping this around, going to the center and then going up, wrapping it around that one, wrapping it around this one, and then wrapping it around that one. So like this figure 8 pattern I'm going. See that? That's what I'm achieving. I'm concentrating everything on one side and just pushing everything up a little bit. I don't have a lot, right? I'm gonna count how many I did here. 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay, fine. So 6 is what is the magic number that I did here. So I'm gonna do the same here as well. Okay, so over here there is already 4. So make sure you just pinch all the coils together, press it against the top because we want a considerable wire wrap. Okay, and go through that. That's 5, and one more, that'll be 6. Okay, this is how much I did for the other side as well. So I didn't do much, so that's what I did. So here it is, and I take this end wire and wrap it around about, say, twice on this side, and then take the wire in the back. See which one you want in the front and the back. I want this to be my front or that to be your front. It's totally up to you. So I want this to be my front, so I take the wire in the back and then cut this off with your pliers. Okay, now we have this one right here. This one I remove just one wrap. I don't want a lot of wraps because I don't want one side to have a lot of wire, so I snip that as well. Then make sure you tuck that tail in by pressing it against the bottom wire. Do the same here as well. You can feel it in your hands. Pinch it and see this. I'm just gonna squish these wire together. So this is what I have here, right? So this is what I'm gonna use. So here it is, our wire already wrapped and connected. So I'm just going to make this frame nice and sturdier by just hammering this part. I have a bench block and a hammer, so I'm just not gonna hammer everywhere because I like the shiny metal. So I'm just gonna hammer this part. both sides. That's enough. So that's that. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna add my, so this is the side or this side. This is the side we decided to have it. So make sure just everything is nice and sturdy and tight. This is the side I wanna be, right? On this side, this is the side I wanna be. Okay, now I have a bead which is about, say, this one, the nugget bead, and also 2 of the roundels. So I cut my, you can cut yourself some wire. I just cut some, so this is about, say, an inch and a quarter. I mean, I'm just gonna make loops. Okay, take the wire, flush cut the end. So this is the flush side of your cutter, and this in the wire here will be tapered like this. So I always flush cut the end. Take your pliers and make yourself a loop. Not a big loop, but a decent enough loop. Just a regular loop, right? Just like that. Make yourself a loop here too, and don't forget to flush cut. Okay, so now take your roundel, take your pliers and organize this loop properly. That was bothering me, so just had to straighten that up. Okay, now I like the loop. So here it is. Now you bend the wire to 90 degrees again and snip off the excess wire. You don't want this much, just to make a loop. Okay, take it and make a loop. As I said, you don't want a bigger loop. Have to cut a little bit just to have this loop nice and sizable. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, that's that. Now make this properly as well. Let me do this properly. Take the other bead. So I take the pliers and bend this at 90 degrees. Take it and just make a small loop. Once your loop is made, make sure these two are aligned properly. See, this one is perpendicular to the other loop. I want both the loops to be facing in the same side. Okay, close this loop completely. There is a gap, adjust with the other loop. Make sure there is no gap. So now all I want to do is take this, open up the loop which is bigger, and add it to this part. Okay, because we have a bigger hole in the center, we cut the loop and then made this bigger. There should not be a problem putting this through. I tried. Open up the loop and add it here. First I thought I should make a bigger loop, and I did make a bigger loop, but then I tried with a smaller loop. It did fit nicely, so I didn't want to make a bigger loop. I just want to stick with a smaller loop, because you don't want a lot of gaps in your wire working thing. So we have these. Keep yourself a small trash can for these bits and pieces, so that it doesn't end up poking you or your loved ones and going on the carpet or so. So we have done this part. We need to do this one. For that I also need a piece of 20 gauge wire, just not a big one, just a small one. Just cut a bit, again flush cut the end. One end will always be flush cut, the other end won't be. Make yourself a small loop, as much small loop as possible. You don't need a bigger one here. Okay, just a small loop, just like that. And take your bead, go through. So first of all, you go through one of this loop here, and then take the bead, add the bead here. Okay, and then go through the loop on the other side, just like so. Okay, so you need to make sure everything is proper. This one is not. The loop is also very big, and here I don't think so. It is big, so that should not be a problem. But making sure everything is proper here. See how it is not straight. Straighten that loop up. Make sure everything is in proper angle and it's not crooked or something. Okay, now do the same. Add your bead, go through the other loop here. That's all it is. Okay, so now you need to hold this. Okay, take your pliers, bend this wire, and then cut about, say, small. You need a smaller loop, so cut about, say, here. I just eyeball it and make yourself a loop. So you need to make a loop so that this doesn't come off. That's the whole sole reason for it. Right? Now we got this. See this? Both are different. So take your pliers. Make sure they are all nice and organized. So here we have our earrings, same as this one right here. Okay, so I like this. Now all I need to do here is take my ear wire, open up the loop in the ear wire like that, so that you don't distort the loop shape. Add it, take your pliers and just rebound the wire. Okay, so here we have the beautiful earrings. I really like the way this turned out to be. I know it was just a trial, but I liked it. So here it is. I hope you guys like this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. I used 18 gauge wire for this base, and then 26 gauge wire for weaving, and then 20 gauge wire to add all of these beads, and for the ear wires as well. I just did hammer the frame in this U part. I didn't hammer the entire the swirl or the entire frame, bottom frame, because I like the swirl to be really shiny and nice. So thank you. And if you do get inspired by my design and I would like to see what you guys have made it, I will have a link to the Facebook group in the comments below. To check them out and share your pictures there. Would love to see, and I would love to hear from you guys too. Comment below, say hi. That's more than enough. That makes my day. Bye bye.